teasers. Welcome back to season 5 of Birds, D's, and T's, your very favorite sexuality education and storytelling podcast. I am your host, Miss Nia, Angie Africana Sutton, and I'm so glad to have you all joining us for this episode. We're doing something new for the season. There's something new for the teaser, so I hope that y'all enjoy this. I'm very happy about the topic that we're going to have today. As y'all can see, I'm not alone today. I am joined by my very wonderful husband, my new husband, Mr. Ty. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. So this season is going to be all about lessons in love and marriage, because the last time that I spilled tea with y'all, I was not even engaged, let alone married. So much has happened since then. I think the last time I dropped an episode of the podcast was season 4. It was in 2023, child. So we've seen a lot since then. And I was probably newly engaged when I dropped the episode, but I didn't even get to tell y'all about the engagement and all the wonderful things of that stuff. That's what we're gonna talk about today. So yeah, you ready to get into it? Ready to get into the team? All right. So let's first talk about the timeline from May 2023 to present. Really, all the things that happened. We're gonna cover all of them. But yeah, let's start with the engagement itself.
Okay. All right.
That's a good place to start, because I had just dropped an episode right before we got engaged. So early May, or I probably dropped an episode late April, and then we got engaged on May 7th in New Orleans at my job's conference. Totally unexpected to me. I did not think that you were going to come to the conference to do that. So the conference was in New Orleans, and I was there working down like a doll in the street. And Ty was like, "Oh yeah, I want to come." I'm like, he could just come for a couple of days. But I was happy to have him. And so he came down there, and the first night when we got there, we went to go see Big Frida. I just love my man so much because he's a team player. He is on board, but I love Big Frida. That's one of my favorite artists. And so I finally got to see her in concert. We went to one of her shows right in the French Quarter. I may or may not have gotten on stage with Big Frida and shook the girls down. Had to do what I had to do. But yes, it was a time. And then the next day, I was working all throughout the day. And then we did some excursions and stuff throughout the city. So my first question for you is what was on your mind knowing that you were going to do what you were going to do and knowing that I didn't know?
Well, let me first say that I was nervous, but at the same time, I thought that she had some kind of connection. So, knowing what I know now that you didn't, I look back on it, it's funny because I had the ring and I'm like, it's just she's gonna be like, because I'm acting kind of, a little bit nervous. One thing is out of the ordinary. To me, they were out of the ordinary, but to you, they were probably just just me being me. But, I was just nervous, and then I was just what is she going to say, or what's going to be her reaction? So those was basically how I was feeling.
That's so interesting, because you didn't seem out of the norm at all to me. From the pictures and everything, we went on that boat ride. We went to visit a national park, which was also a plantation. And yeah, you just seemed normal to me. So
Yeah. Well, I had the ring in my pocket the whole time, even throughout the excursions. And I was just I was trying to make it where I would take a picture. It was this trend I seen on the internet. People was things with their significant other, leading up to. So they would take a picture of the ring partner, if I turn like different certain places. And I had the ring in my pocket the whole time, and I wanted to do that, but it was like I want to pull this ring out and lose it. And then one time we were on a boat, I didn't want to pull the ring out. Ring falls into the ocean.
It would have been that's well stated.
Yeah, talk about that. So I just kept the ring in my pocket. I'm just saying that. Oh yeah, it was just little stuff like that that you didn't know that I was thinking about doing this house. So
Yeah, very sweet.
yeah.
So yeah, so that night, so we did the little excursions. I went back to work, had to work a little bit more. And then that night we had dinner reservations um at a restaurant inside of Harris Casino in New Orleans. And so we left the hotel, we went to dinner, we were eating at dinner, and you just really started laying it on thick with the compliment. Right. I was like, I used to like I was giving all of that, but he just kept telling me how beautiful I was and all the things. And I was like, okay, I don't know what you trying to give. And then you gave it all. what was what was that like for you?
Oh, it was a good feeling actually. Like, us talking during the dinner. Oh, just conveying my love for you. How I felt for the previous years. We've been dating. I was just letting that all out. And I just felt like you appreciated what I was saying. And I feel like the time was right.
Yeah. We get it. Do you feel like what's your opinion about um like how long we were dating before we got engaged? Because I felt like somewhere around like the 2 year mark, I was like, okay, I want to be engaged. I want to be engaged. Um, but it was like 3 years of us being together with maybe going on four, yeah, like going on 4 years before we actually did get engaged. So like what is your opinion or thoughts on it?
Well, I think everybody should do what's best for them. And regardless of what everybody else feels, I think everybody moves at their own pace. And sometimes even me and you move at our paces too. But in a partnership, you have to move together. So like we started having conversations at the 2 year mark, and I knew that you were serious. I was serious as well. So, I knew going into year 3 that I was going to have to make something.
Yeah, yeah. And like I feel like year 3 is the year when relationships get real. So I'm grateful that it happened after that because, we had like moments of growth in that year and, just getting closer and really being serious about being in partnership for eternity. so, so yeah, I think my perceptions definitely, or like my attitudes about engagement changed during that time. Like I used to be like, what, like what's you wait so long for? Or seeing other people's relationships and you like, it's time for him to propose to her. But when you really think about the commitment that is marriage, it definitely should not be rushed. And the most important thing is to like be on the same page with your partner.
Yeah,
For sure.
I agree.
Um, Yes. So you said a time or two before that like your favorite memory in our relationship was you getting down on one knee and proposing.
Yeah.
So what was that experience like for you? Like what would you want other people who are thinking about having a question to their husband? What would you want them to know about that moment as the proposer?
That's a great question. Um, I would say that I felt a sense of like relief, but not necessarily relief. Like felt like, wow, like, like I finally got my life partner. So everything that came before was so much harder because I was on her, but I never let I have another person to live life with. So I feel like when there's two people who come together, it's like things can be a lot easier. And I feel like it has been, whether it's work, family, relationship, we do as many things as we can together. And two brains come together and you know, that makes everything a lot better.
Oh, it's beautiful. Thank you for showing that. I felt like just on cloud nine, like I was very gagged by the whole thing. Um, I'm like the waiter just started recording. She was a beautiful person. I just was like when you started the speech, and then I like came to realize what was happening. All the way through the night, I just was floating. Just yeah, I was very shocked. I did not think that that would happen at my job's conference. But yeah, it was a good time. It's a good time and definitely a beautiful part of our journey together. All right, engagement. All right. So the next thing I want to talk about in our journey from May 2023 to present is wedding planning, because that was like a huge part of it. And it started, we got engaged May 7th. We started wedding planning May 8th. So, what was a highlight of wedding planning for you?
I didn't wake up. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that was the biggest part. Like, making sure because it was a lot of different elements and to kind of what we wanted it to be and where we wanted to be, like location wise. So like, we found that spot. I feel like that was the biggest hurdle, uh, but the most rewarding part of it is it was a perfect location.
It was. It was very beautiful. That was more of like a relieving moment for me. But like what I probably enjoy most about wedding planning throughout the entire time that we did it, was just the partnership in it. I felt like that was very, like it shined a light on what partnership would look like for us moving forward. Um, you were like very involved, very helpful, very supportive. All the things that, you always are, but it was important to me in that moment for you to be that way, because I feel like a lot of times um, people just kind of like leave the wedding planning to the woman in the relationship and cis hetero relationship. And, some people want it that way. Like, the girls are okay with taking the reins, and they're just like, you just make sure you show up, to their groom. But that was definitely not what I wanted. I didn't want too many chefs in the kitchen. And the only other, I needed a sous chef, and you were the perfect sous chef, and definitely took the lead when needed.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely agree. As a whole, like that was like a foundation in what marriage has got to be. Um, no matter what obstacles there are throughout the wedding planning, we've seen that get over those. We took time to support each other, even through the emotional parts. So like just working things out and so it's in different avenues and solutions together. That was amazing.
Yeah. And it was like really helpful that we had that wedding planning book, since we didn't have a wedding planner. It was really helpful that we had that wedding planning book that your mom purchased us. So I'll drop the link for it in the comment. teasers. But also we talked about creating our own wedding planning book because there were some things that were in that book or some things that were not in that book that we definitely like learned and think that should be included. So yes, coming from the McDonald's, having sit over the McDonald's. Yes. Okay. So something else that we also did in the midst of wedding planning was premarital counseling. And this was something that you also took the lead on. We secured the counseling through your jobs services. So yes, what do you think was like most beneficial from those premarital counseling sessions that we had?
I think this bringing the tools and adding the tools to our tool. That's one thing that she talked about. Your button tools in this tool, and also evaluating, you know, perspectives on each side. So, thinking about how you feel, how I feel, you know, when we're, trying to discuss things. Yeah, just discussing things and getting everything, taking the tool out and use it.
Yeah, absolutely. Those were really, really helpful for me too. And I feel like a lot, like the most of the work that we did happened outside of those sessions. Like she gave us the tools in the sessions, and then like after the sessions, we would have like really good discussions about different things.
Yeah.
So yeah, really helpful. Probably something that is memorable from that. Two things. We did the love languages exercise, so that was like revealing and like some clarity on like what our love languages actually are. And then we also learned some breathing techniques and like using those breathing techniques when things get difficult or like even when we're dealing with things personally. So that was helpful. And in that session where we like learned the breathing techniques and we did like some meditation, you actually fell asleep. Or in the night.
Well, I can do that. Well, since we've been together, let me be clear. I've never had a problem falling asleep.
No,
You know,
no.
uh, it's not like I'm gonna fall asleep, right here doing a podcast or just anything. But let's say when it's time for me to go to sleep, when I relax, I don't have.
Yeah, I'm actually envious of you. That because I lay in the bed and make up scenarios in my mind all night.
Yeah,
And I feel like,
yeah, my mind is blank. I want to before we segue to the next question, I actually got you a gift.
oh,
Yeah, it's season 5, so only right.
yes, let me see that. Yes, it's one of my little. That is good. Let's see, where'd you get one? Ooh, yeah, they're beautiful. Oh, oh, oh. That is perfect.
That's what I think too.
I do. That's pretty. The bees on the ground. Oh, thank you so much, husband.
You're welcome. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, you have like been here. You've been here since the very beginning. My first niece and tea. So thank you for supporting me. And thank you for my beautiful roses.
Absolutely.
Yes, season 5. We're in the mix. Right. Very nice. The next question or the next topic is the wedding itself. What was a highlight from the wedding for you?
I've got 2 highlights. I'll do before pre-wedding and then during the wedding. So pre-wedding, that morning, actually, We got married in Fredericksburg. So I actually went to have breakfast at a diner that we passed on the way there. So let me check that diner. So I stopped there. I went there that morning to grab breakfast. And it was older black couple that was sitting to my left in a booth, and I was sitting there to my right. And I don't know. I was just waiting on my meal, and I was just kind of like on my phone, just chilling. And it must have been something about me, but I went to the restroom and I came back. By the time that I came back, they were gone, and a waitress that came that lovely couple that paid for your meal this morning. And I was just so shocked because I was like, wow, that's really like God. Like, that's a like good omen. So like, that was a good start to my day. And then went back to the hotel to get kind of ready. Run errands and stuff. Uh, Morning went pretty good. And then like during the wait up for me was, then you walk down the aisle. Yeah. That was my first time seeing you that day.
Mm-hmm.
So I was real. Of course, I was ready to see it, and you look beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was my highlight.
I'm a slow one too. I was like, thank you.
Man.
Okay, yes. That couple paying for your meal. I agree. That was such like a defining moment. And like they didn't even know that it was your wedding or anything. So that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I was fighting for my life the morning of the wedding. It's very, very different experience for me. But I'm glad that's the experience. I would say the highlight of the wedding for me, definitely hearing your vows. That was just so beautiful. You're such an incredible writer, which I don't think a lot of people know that about you. Um, yeah, you're like very creative and artistic with your words and just very thoughtful. And it was just very beautiful. And you brought the place down. You brought the people to the tears. It was great. Yeah. So love that. I feel like every wedding anniversary you should bring them to me. And
Yeah, I broke my vows on my lunch break. It took me 30 minutes to write them. But it was just like the words like came to me, and I guess like like I'm spiritual and God, of course. But I just asked for God to give me the words to write in, and down.
yeah, it was
And so I can spend up more time.
yes, very good. Very 10 out of 10. Like one of those. And then my second highlight definitely would have to be our first dance. It was choreographed. We practiced. For the girls that know me, y'all know I love a little 1-2. That's all. So yeah, it was a choreographed dance. We had practiced it many times before. We knew that we were going to gag the people, but like when the people actually gagged, it was just such a moment. And yeah, it was fun. Ty really like he stepped out of his shell, but like I know that version of him. I know that side of him. I wasn't like shocked at all, but I knew that people would be shocked by seeing him do a choreographed dance and then also like having a solo moment where he broke it down and got on his knees and just went crazy with it.
And I brought my A game.
Yeah,
I definitely brought my.
very good. Yeah. So the wedding, yeah. Wedding try to for anything. Our wedding was on April 20th. And it was the date is 4/20/24. We picked that date because it's the same way forward and backward. April 20th, 2024.
Yeah.
Eternity forever.
Uh,
Loving and no switching.
no subject. Yeah, that was a good date. And then also with it being outside too, like we were kind of like we had to play the weatherman, in the weather, and leading up to it. And then also in the month out checking the weather. So that was kind of crazy, but it actually worked out perfect.
Yeah, I was on our side that day because it was rainy and gloomy the day before and rainy and gloomy the day after. But that Saturday, you just could not ask for a better day. The temperature, the sun, not a cloud in the sky. Like it was just so beautiful.
Yep.
It was everything. Not too cold, not too hot. It was a good time. It was a good day. So the next thing I want to talk about is the honeymoon. Yeah. This was also another place where you took the lead and planned the honeymoon, and we did it like our own way, like we did with everything else. We decided to wait a little bit after the wedding and then go on honeymoon. Um, like a month or so later. Yeah, almost 2 months later, actually. Yeah, it was like 2 months later that we went on the honeymoon, and we like doubled it with my birthday. So I think every birthday is a big birthday. Like I don't have milestone birthdays. All of them are milestones for me. So we always got to do something extra. So we decided to pair the honeymoon and the birthday together, and we went to El Salvador. Yeah,
Beautiful.
it was very beautiful. And we had the honeymoon suite
Yeah.
at the place where we stayed. I don't know if the people thought we were rich. There's only like one of those rooms. And it like overlooked the entire what is it called? Resort. Yes. It overlooked the entire resort. It was just everything about it was beautiful.
Yeah.
And out of 10 on that one.
Yeah.
The highlight from the honeymoon. Yeah.
I liked on the honeymoon. It was huge, like our room. It was like so perfect. Like no actually sliding door. Yeah, the outside back balcony was there. And that was just it was beautiful. And you know, to the black sand. It just felt so relaxing. So I just embraced the whole experience and the view. It was good. There was a lot of different highlights though, but that's the ambiance of the resort. It was good.
Yeah, the black sand beaches definitely did it for me. The sand was so, it's like more fine than sand in the like on U.S. beaches.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
very nice. That was great. The name change is the next topic that I have on here. And when I introduced myself at the start of this episode, I gave y'all Nia and Ty Sutton. But I am officially Nia Sutton McDonald. And it wasn't immediate that I changed my name. That actually happened. So we had our wedding in April, and I changed my name in December 2024, making sure that I came into the new year with my new name. But yeah, we had like some conversations about that. Like I feel like there was a learning moment in our relationship. It was definitely like some tough conversations that didn't just like happen in one conversation. And so, yeah, I felt like very strongly about keeping Sutton some way. I was born with a hyphenated name, Short Sutton, carrying my maternal grandfather's name, and also my father's last name. And so I knew I didn't want to have three last names. Short Sutton McDonald is just too much. But I did feel strongly about keeping Sutton. Most people know me as Nia Sutton. I have like achieved a lot of things that I'm very proud of with the name Nia Sutton, including starting this podcast, getting my master's degree, just like the identity that I have created for myself. That I had created for myself as a single woman. People know me as Nia Sutton. And so I felt very strongly about that. And I also like brought up the fact that Jay-Z took Beyonce's last name when they got married as well. He is Sean Knowles Carter. And so I brought that up to Ty. Like, what do you think about being Cecil Taquan Sutton McDonald? I thought, we had some tough conversations about that, but tell us like what your thoughts were about the name change process.
Yeah, I'm traditional and, just growing up, uh, I don't know anybody who's ever experienced that on firsthand, like any family members or whatever. Nobody really talks about that. So like me, I was just expecting, oh, Nia, of course, Nia, wants to be my wife. She wants to be Nia McDonald, Nia Sutton McDonald. So, I thought it came necessarily with the vows, with the marriage, and but that's not always the case. And I just had to look at it from her perspective because, like she says, she's accomplished so much, as Nia Sutton, Nia Short Sutton, so that is an identity part of who you are. So, I had to sit back and say, well, dang, like if somebody asked me to change my name to McDonald, yeah, I would feel some type of way as well. So, it was a tough conversation, but, I didn't feel like I put a lot of pressure on you, you know, I put a lot of pressure, maybe myself, like making sure that, feel like she's part of herself, by changing her name. So, I just kind of let you figure it out and, supported the conversations that we had. And, then you made the decision to make the name change when you did. So kudos to you. Proud of you. And I appreciate you for changing your name to me as McDonald.
So I'm very happy to be a McDonald. Very beautiful family to be married into. So like I feel proud of my new last name. And I feel like I'm also honoring my ancestors by keeping Sutton. Um, that's a part of my name. Well, so
Yeah.
thank you for being like patient and understanding, like willing to have those tough conversations with me that, led us to where we are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Getting your name changed, it's a process. It's not easy. So for the people that want to know, like, yeah, like go to the social security office, especially if you have like a hyphenated last name and it's just a mess. Go to the social security office and then get a new social security card and then apply for a new license with the DMV and, do an official change name, like name change at your job. All the mail that you get, all of that is definitely a process. And I'm still in process. Like step one was actually officially changing my name, but then now I have to like get all of my documents and things changed like that. So just something that the people should know. All right. Okay. So to close us out, I want to not really play a game, but maybe a little bit of a game. I have some questions that I want to ask of both of us. And yeah, I want to see like how our answers compare.
Yeah, bro.
So I brought the board.
Uh,
I've been wearing these boards out lately. Look at your and the floral. What color you want? Black.
but
All right. So you can expound upon your answer verbally, but in one word or a few words, what do you like most about being married? So let me see if we'll get like 5 more seconds and then we gotta click and show our answers are.
I mean, I don't know racing for this. Not bad. I can't this. Right.
Yes.
Sorry.
So mine says partnership.
My,
Okay.
that was actually going to be my first partnership.
Oh, okay.
But that's why I said I keep it simple and love. But um, partnership has been the best. Like, and I could have even put another one down, like resolution. Or, what? Put up on 11 months that we've been married. Family, losing family members, job situation, um, you know, things outside of our relationship that makes me appreciate the partnership and love.
Cool. I love your response. And for the reasons that you said, it's like why I chose partnership and you touched on it earlier. Um, but yeah, like the unconditional love of our relationship. Yeah, beautiful. I'm very grateful for it. Okay, next question. We have received a lot of relationship advice from a lot of different people since embarking upon the marriage journey. What advice has been actually helping you, Bill? I don't even know what I want to write.
This one of the
um, oh my goodness. Um,
like
okay. All right.
all
Yeah.
right, well,
Oh, what you just
praying.
praying?
Yeah,
He said praying, and I put pray together.
yeah,
Yeah, I think that that has definitely been the most helpful advice. Um, it's definitely like something that we like had done before actually getting the advice to do it. Um, but like receiving that advice from multiple people, um, the pastor and the couple that like married us, um, from our premarital counselor. She was a woman of God as well. And just from like different couples, we have received that advice amongst a host of other things. But I feel like this has been the most helpful. And I feel like um, us praying together, like, has strengthened my trust in you because I trust your spiritual leadership as well. Like when I'm feeling anxious or overwhelmed or any other host of emotions that I may be feeling, like I will and like ask you to pray, or like lead us in prayer. And yeah, it like strengthens us. And yeah, it's really helpful. I feel like it brings me peace, then it brings peace to relationship.
yeah. And I feel like I've matured spiritually. As being engaged, getting married. I actually seek spiritual guidance from my pastor, the pastor, I live around. And, I was having conversations with him, his mentorship really brought some clarity to a lot of things, coming into marriage, but also in my life, scripture and prayer and building that relationship with God has been phenomenal. So I thank them for that a lot. I also thank God as well. Prayer definitely changed things.
Yeah. Okay. Last question. Dun, dun, dun. What is something that you are looking forward to in our marriage? All right. 1, 2, 3. Flip it. Oh, did you write it? Because you could also write it.
That the active.
Okay, so we both put parenting. We are definitely actively in the baby making stage of our marriage, and we started at an intentional time. We didn't immediately start trying to make a baby after we got married. We actually intentionally um put it off for a little bit. I wanted to finish having my hot wife summer before we started trying. And so yeah, but this is definitely something that I'm looking forward to. I just really love looking at baby pictures of you or pictures of you when you were a small child. And I'm like, I just want that baby.
Baby.
I want that baby. Yeah, that baby was a little bad from the stories I've heard.
Well,
Is very intent on causing injury to himself. So I hope my child doesn't have that.
yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely something that I'm looking forward to with you. I look forward to cementing our legacy through parenthood together. Yeah, and people always say that we look alike, and so I want to see what a baby look like that has both of our genes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for playing the game. We definitely got 2 points at least, but
One more question.
okay. Okay.
During that part of that. How many children do we want?
Oh,
How many children do we want?
hold on. Oh, I don't know. This is a hard question because it's what is realistic versus oh,
Yeah. I feel like we discussed it,
well,
but
okay.
this can change.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely. I know. Okay. All right, ready?
I know.
I put 2 to 4.
Okay, that's changed. That's the last 4 is a new number.
4 is a new number.
Okay.
4 is definitely a new number for me. I don't know what pregnancy is like. I don't know what childbirth is like. I don't think that that's something that I want to do 4 times, but I think 4 children is a good number.
Mm.
So that's why I say that. But we're probably more in the 2 range.
Yeah, I actually went down on my number. My number was 3 before, but I went down to 2. So yeah, I guess it's fluid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see what the Lord allows.
Yeah. Yeah.
Leave it in His hand. That's the uterus to you, Lord, and when I need to take it back out, I will. Thank you for that autonomy, sweet Jesus.
Okay.
All right, any more surprise question?
No, that's all the questions that I have.
Okay, and thank you for that. All right, so I have asked all of my questions. We did the whole timeline from the wedding, from the engagement to the wedding to honeymoon. We're here now. We are almost at 11 months of marriage. Uh, our 1 year will be in April, and we'll be celebrating in Jamaica.
Jamaica.
Very excited for that.
I am.
My bag is already packed. It's
Vacation.
for the video now. Yeah,
Vacation.
for sure.
Big vacation.
Yeah, that's very good advice.
Mm.
Very good advice. Definitely plan things together, take vacations together, experience each other outside of your norms. Yeah, all of those things. What other advice would you leave with the people.
Be patient. No, be patient with your partner. Be patient with yourself. Right? Right on it first.
Mhm. Beautiful. I would say my parting advice would be to be open to continuing to learn your partner. We've been together for 5 years now, going on 6. Um, and yeah, I feel like I like learn things about you all the time. You have like very special interests. You develop new interests. And so, yeah, it's like being willing and open to receive the new things that come with your partner, even if your partner is not new. I think it's very
Yeah.
okay. Well, thank you so much, Mr. McDonald, for joining us for this very special premiere episode of season 5 of First Season. Yes, it's been great. And I look forward to the rest of the season with you all talking about all the lessons that I've learned about love and marriage through this process. Definitely have more to learn from other people who've been married much longer than us. So we're going to have all the special guests this season. And of course, we're going to talk about all the sex things like we always do. So y'all be ready for that. All right. Thank y'all.
All right. Season 5.
See that? Woo.